Good day, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. UCS is back again with another interesting podcast. In discussion, we have Kaveri, a trainer and a lawyer at UCS. Hi, Kaveri, it's good to have you back.
Hi Sushmita, and I'm so glad to be back.
I wanted to ask you a question, Kaveri. When a complaint comes before the IC, what must the IC do?
Well, your question is very simple, but it is also something which has a lot of weightage. The primary thing that an IC must do when a case comes before them, when it is forwarded by the HR or when the complainant directly approaches them, is that they must sit down with the complainant and explain to them certain things. Now, what are those certain things? Number one, whether or not the case falls under the definition of sexual harassment. Number two, what are the possible angles under which the case could fall under the definition of sexual harassment? And also, they must explain to the complainant what lies before her once a case of sexual harassment is filed by her against the respondent. It's very funny because this is what I learned as a lesson in one particular case where I was an external member. The case goes like this. Would you be interested to know?
Yeah, Kaveri, I would. Please do tell.
Well, the complainant had complained to the head of HR that one Mr. X slapped her on her back because she was sitting in a place in the office cafeteria which is usually occupied by Mr. X at that specific time on a daily basis. When Mr. X asked her to move, she did not do so. Later on in the workstation as well, he instigated her and started a fight with regard to the same issue, which is as to why she never moved away from that place in the cafeteria. The following day, she went and complained to the HR stating the facts. The HR informed the presiding officer of the IC, and the IC took it as a complaint filed under the POSH Act. But what happened is, during the proceedings of the case, the complainant was not ready to go through the entire proceedings and in turn questioned the IC itself as to why was the case considered under POSH when Mr. X had just slapped her on her back. She said plainly, I only complained to the HR to take disciplinary action against him for misbehavior. This is not sexual harassment. Thereafter, the case was closed as not prosecuted by the IC, and this was a lesson learned. In another interesting case, what happened was there was one Miss Y who was a receptionist in a company. One day, she went to the director and complained that one Mr. X in the company on a daily basis asked her if she found him attractive. The director brought this to the attention of the IC, and the IC explained to her that if she wished to proceed, she could file a case of sexual harassment against Mr. X. The IC also told her under what category of sexual harassment the case could fall under and also kept her informed about the entire proceedings until the case would be closed. However, Miss Y told the IC that she would not want to file a case under POSH, but would just want the management to warn Mr. X to discontinue his misbehavior towards her. Now, you see, Sushmita, most of the times what happens is the situation is that the complainant does not know what lies ahead of her after filing the complaint with the IC, and later on, when they actually start going through with the proceedings, they want to back off. In such cases, the case either does not get prosecuted or gets dismissed, and the organization is also in a fixed situation where it does not know how to deal. Therefore, it is very important that when a case is brought to the attention of the IC, prior to proceeding with the case, the IC must take time, sit with the complainant and explain everything in detail.
This is really interesting to know, Kaveri, that the onus is on the IC to explain to the complainant whether the case is actually a case of sexual harassment or not. And if yes, in which manner it falls under the definition of sexual harassment, and also as to what is required to be done and so on. Thank you, Kaveri, for this informative session. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you found this episode to be informative and interesting. Do get in touch with us with your queries, suggestions, and feedback by either emailing us at admin@upseedconsulting.com or writing to us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We will be back again with another interesting topic. Wishing you all a great day ahead.